Welcome to The Center, your DC Sports Weekly Review. Here's your host, Ben Simon.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to The Center. I'm your host, Ben Simon. Let's get started first with the Washington Capitals. This week started out pretty rough for the Washington Capitals, so you are going to want to brace yourselves. Back-to-back overtime losses. It started on Saturday versus a Detroit team that's just hovering around 500. They were outscored 3-0 in the second, were the Capitals, but then Orlov, Backstrom, and Connolly outscored Detroit 3-0 in the third period, but unfortunately it ended in disaster as Thomas Tatar finished the Washington Capitals. The final score was 5-4 in overtime. Tuesday, we played at Winnipeg, and after leading 3-1 entering the third period, the Capitals gave up a short-handed goal with 15 seconds left. Ugh, so tough. Holtby had 40 saves though, and he became the second goalie in franchise history to play 20,000 minutes. Ahead of him is Olaf Kolzig, who played over 41,000 minutes. The game ended in heartbreaker yet again, as the Nats got lost, and they just keep getting slapped in the face, having lost 4 straight of their overtime games. Final score, 4-3. Things got a little bit better though. We won Thursday at Minnesota 5-2. Grubauer got the start, and Ovechkin scored, and the Associated Press noted that he has been dominant over Minnesota. 8 career games at Minnesota, Ovechkin has 11 goals. 14 career games against Minnesota, 15 goals, 10 assists. And the Capitals are 10-3-1 in those games. But that pleasure was short-lived. Wake up. Back to reality. We lost Saturday at Chicago 7-1. 7. I mean, not a lot of good things coming from this game. Trotz coached his 1,500th game, which is nice. He's number 5 all time in the rankings. Wilson became the 9th Capital with 10 or more goals this season, and it's the first time he's gotten that many in his career. So that's really good, but 7-1 loss, no bueno. The unfortunate thing that came out of this game and this week was that there was a spout of racism coming from the Chicago fans in United Center. They yelled basketball, basketball, basketball to Devontae Smith-Pelly when he was in the penalty box. Smith-Pelly is African American. The Chicago Tribune luckily had the back of the Capitals and Smith-Pelly saying, quote, "It should be their last Hawks game at the United Center," saying this of the fans there. Come to think of it, every one of Chicago's professional sports teams should ban the offending Neanderthals from walking through their gates. Zero tolerance is the best way to fight intolerance. I mean, from my point of view, why are you trying to egg Smith-Pelly and African Americans on in general? I mean, they could whoop us at any sport, especially hockey, if they wanted to. And I mean, especially us Jews. I mean, we are not that good on the ice. I mean, we've got downtown Michael Brown of the Maple Leafs. I mean, unless you're trying to throw down at some chess, I mean, we got you there, but you can come see us if you want. But maybe the best thing out of all this is that I found out that Dodgers outfielder and World Series participant Jock Pederson is Jewish, and this calls for a celebration. Let's full screen him. Let's full screen him. Let's give him all of the attention. Mazel tov. Mazel tov, my man. Drake, show him how it's done. Yes. Yes. So good. Everybody together. Oh, so unifying. So I guess something good came out of all this. The Washington Wizards played before the All-Star game, and they played at Madison Square Garden versus the Knicks. They trailed by as many as 27 before completing the largest comeback in the NBA this season. Tim Hardaway had 32 points for the Knicks in the first half, but that was no match for Bradley Beal's 36 points, 7 assists, 5 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 blocks. That is a fat stat sheet right there. And Washington won at Madison Square Garden for the 8th straight time. The All-Star Game, known to be so fun. Look at those moves. That's the guy from Stranger Things, right? But unfortunately, there was some beef going down, as Marcin Gortat and John Wall's Twitter beef has still continued from that February 1st tweet that Gortat sent, where he praised the team for a good quote-unquote team win when John Wall was out. And then John Wall went on SportsCenter. This is where it gets ugly. And he says, it was more just shocking to hear it from him, and understanding that he gets the assists from me and the most spoon-fed baskets ever. My first reaction, really? Seriously? Somebody hand me a drink. The truth, your thoughts? Yeah. I mean, come on. I mean, then you remember that he had to grow up in front of our eyes, first overall pick at age 19, the mayor declaring John Wall Day. I mean, he's just grown up in a completely different capacity than all of us, but still, you're really hoping that he matures over time. As far as an injury update on his knee, he says that he has not started running yet, so he still has a long way to go. All-Star Game still had some fun points for the Washington Wizards, as Bradley Beal was in the three-point contest. He started out slow, going 1 of 10 in his first 10 shots, but then when the money ball rack came around, he hit 4 of 5, finishing with 15 points in the first round of the contest. He even says to the Washington Post that he might have over-prepared, quote-unquote. Devin Booker won the three-point contest with 28 points, and if you have not checked out that young man, he is amazing. He's only around like 22 or 23, maybe younger than that, plays for the Phoenix Suns, and he has a smooth stroke. He's dropped like 50 or 60 points in a ball game before. He can shoot it from deep, a very impressive young man. Definitely check out Devin Booker if you have not already. As far as the All-Star Game, Beal dropped 14 points, not too shabby. But he was not a part of clutch time at all. In an actually very watchable All-Star Game where they were actually competing and trying on the floor. Pretty cool to watch. The Washington Nationals. They had players report for spring training, as pitchers and catchers reported, and even position players such as Bryce Harper getting an early start down there. And some news from Jorge Castillo and the Washington Post about Adam Eaton, who is patiently waiting for his body to heal after that terrible knee injury that he suffered during the season last year. Fortunately, he is aiming for an opening day appearance, which would be so awesome. He understands that he's not maybe the rangy, speedy, athletic player that he once was, and maybe at age 29, he understands that Michael A. might be the best candidate for center field, and he is man enough to admit that, so he says. He's run in a straight line, he's fielded ground balls, he's long tossed, and he's hit batting practice. So things are moving great for Adam Eaton. And next up for him, he has to juke back and forth on his knee, cutting on his knee, and facing live pitching. Those are the next steps for his recovery. Jorge Castillo also reported about a pair of 24-year-olds battling injuries as Koda Glover returned to camp with shoulder soreness. We've heard this kind of stuff before, but an MRI exam revealed shoulder inflammation, and he has been shut down until that gets 100%. And really, you should be listening to Ludacris. He says, take your time, man. Once he gets 100%, he'll be battling for a middle relief role, as the Nationals lost Matt Albers over the offseason, but we still have Kinsler, Madsen, and Doolittle. And it was noted in the article that he would be very well prepared for that position, having an above average fastball and a slider. Joe Ross, on the other hand, coming back from Tommy John surgery, the 24-year-old resumed throwing during the first week of January. He has stretched out to 75 feet in his throws. He is eyeing an August return. We're hoping it's sooner, because as far as fifth starters, there's nothing that looks appetizing. Nothing at all. I mean, there's AJ Cole, who's the front runner. He has the advantage, but he has no options on his contract, so that's the main reason why. We can't send him back down again. Edwin Jackson, Eric Fetty, and Tommy Malone are also in the hunt for that position. We also learned some cool things like Ryan Zimmerman. He's taken Jason Worth's coveted corner locker spot. No one is wearing Worth's number 28, and Howie Kendrick will wear Dusty Baker's number 12 this season. Some weird wild card news came out this week that had all of us shocked. Esteban Loaiza, the Mexican-born pitcher who played for the Nationals in 2005, who earned more than $43 million over 14 seasons, was busted with 20 kilos of cocaine. He's pled not guilty, and the baseball community is watching this very, very closely. And personally, I really just hope it's not true. He's such a great story, somebody who came out of Mexico and really had to earn his way all the way to the major leagues, really hoping that everything is settled and he is not a part of this. It would be quite a sad story. The Washington Redskins had some news, and it happens to be about Kirk Cousins. We just can't get away from him. Will Brinson of CBS Sports reported that if franchise tag, Kirk Cousins will file a grievance with the Players Association. And he actually may win the grievance, because this is really unprecedented for the Redskins or any team to try to tag somebody and then trade them, because, you know, when you franchise tag somebody, usually they're going to play for your franchise. The Redskins could get burned if their petty plan somehow backfires. That's in terms of salary cap space and roster freedom. So is it worth it? Like Fifth Harmony? I guess we're gonna have to find out over the coming weeks. A very uplifting story though from the Redskins, as Josh Norman visited Eliana Piapsh, a die-hard Redskins fan who lives in Israel. Norman was with other NFL players such as Avery Williamson, Vic Beasley, Austin Safarian-Jenkins, and the Schwartz brothers. A good mission out there and supporting a young Redskins fan. Gotta love it. Also, some good news for the Redskins as well. Great news. This is all good news, except for the one before this. Sua Cravens. The team allowed Sua Cravens to walk away from the team on September 3rd, if you don't remember, as Cravens said that he wanted to retire. He was dealing with some family issues at the time, but fortunately, the 22-year-old 2016 second-round pick from the University of Southern California has been reinstated by the NFL. Sua, welcome home, buddy. Glad to have you back. Go out there and hit some people. Come on. We'll need you on our defense for sure. Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring it on home. DJ. All right. Hey, welcome to the rap review. Man, we're throwing down bars, it ain't nothing new. The Caps lost 2 straight in OT, and then they got saved for 1 day by OV. People were racist too. Smith, Pelly, we hope they get locked up in a celly, but for celebration, you know that we had to do it when we found out that Jock Pederson is Jewish. Wizards had the biggest comeback of the season. John Wall got into it a beef for no reason. 3-point contest had Bradley Beal, and Adam Eaton ain't playing center field. Injury updates on Glover and Ross. Joe is starting to throw some toss. The Redskins franchise tag idea ain't perfect, man. We asked Fifth Harmony if they think it's worth it. Norman visited the state of blue and white. Sua Cravens coming back to our delight. So if you like sports and a little bit of rhyming, thank you for tuning in to The Center with Ben Simon.